In this video, we're revealing which protein shake brands you need to avoid immediately. From undeclared allergens that could trigger life-threatening reactions to dangerous heavy metal contamination found in independent testing, what you're about to discover might completely change your next trip to the supplement aisle. And here's the good news. Stick with me until the end, because I'll reveal the 4 brands that actually meet the safety standards you deserve. Let's shake up the truth and separate real nutrition from the contaminated containers. 10. Muscle Milk Pro Advanced Nutrition Protein. Shake starting at number 10, Muscle Milk markets itself as advanced nutrition for serious athletes. But independent testing reveals a concerning reality. Consumer reports found that Muscle Milk Pro Advanced Nutrition Protein, shaken chocolate, contains 128% of their level of concern for lead per serving. That's not a typo. Every shake you drink delivers lead contamination above what health researchers consider safe for regular consumption. The testing organization recommends limiting consumption to just 5.5 servings per week, meaning this supposedly daily nutrition shake shouldn't actually be consumed daily at all. Lead is a neurotoxin that accumulates in your body over time, particularly dangerous for anyone over 45, as our bodies become less efficient at eliminating heavy metals with age. What makes this especially troubling is that people drinking muscle milk after workouts or as meal replacements believe they're investing in their health when they're actually exposing themselves to a contaminant that affects memory, concentration, and long-term neurological function. For a brand positioned as pro-level nutrition, the presence of lead contamination represents a fundamental failure in ingredient sourcing and quality control. 9. Ensure Plant-Based Protein Nutrition Shake. At number 9, Ensure has built decades of trust as a medical nutrition brand recommended by healthcare professionals, which makes these findings particularly disappointing. Consumer Reports tested Ensure Plant-Based Protein Nutrition shaken chocolate and found it contains 132% of their level of concern for lead per serving. The testing organization set a limit of 5 1/3 servings per week, far below the daily consumption many people maintain. Ensure specifically markets to older adults, people recovering from illness, and those with nutritional challenges, making lead contamination in their product especially problematic. Many of you watching this video may have elderly parents or grandparents who rely on Ensure as a primary nutrition source, trusting the brand's medical reputation without realizing they're receiving lead exposure with every bottle. Lead affects kidney function, bone health, and cardiovascular systems, all areas of particular concern for the demographic Ensure serves. The plant-based formula attracts health-conscious consumers seeking cleaner nutrition. Yet the testing reveals contamination that contradicts those health goals. For a brand that's been a household name since the 1970s and positions itself as medical nutrition, finding lead levels this elevated represents a betrayal of the trust millions have placed in the Ensure name. 8. Muscle Med's Carnivore Mass. Moving to number 8, Muscle Med's Carnivore Mass stands out for a disturbing reason in Consumer Reports testing. This is the only non-plant-based protein powder in their entire study that showed lead contamination, above 200% of their level of concern. Think about that for a moment. Plant-based proteins often show higher heavy metal levels because plants naturally absorb minerals from soil, including contaminants. But Carnivore Mass is made from beef protein, and it still managed to exceed safety thresholds by more than double. This suggests either severely contaminated source materials or a manufacturing process that introduces heavy metal contamination. Consumer Reports specifically highlighted this finding because it defied the expected pattern where animal-based proteins typically show lower contamination than plant sources. For bodybuilders and strength athletes using Carnivore Mass to build muscle and gain weight, the lead exposure undermines those very health goals. Lead interferes with hemoglobin production, reducing oxygen delivery to muscles during workouts. It affects hormone production, including testosterone, critical for muscle development and recovery. The mass gainer category targets people consuming multiple servings daily to increase caloric intake, multiplying their lead exposure far beyond what testing organizations consider safe, even for weekly consumption. 7. Momentous 100% Plant Protein. At number 7, Momentous markets itself as the protein choice of elite athletes and professional sports teams, with premium pricing to match those claims. Yet Consumer Reports found Momentous 100%. Plant protein contains lead between 400% and 600% of their level of concern per daily serving. That's 4 to 6 times above safe consumption levels in every scoop. The testing organization recommends limiting this product to just once per week, meaning the daily use that Momentous suggests and charges premium prices for delivers dangerous heavy metal exposure. Professional athletes have access to regular blood testing and medical monitoring that average consumers don't, yet Momentous sells the same contaminated formula to everyday people without any disclosure of lead content. The company emphasizes third-party testing and quality certifications in their marketing, but somehow lead contamination at these extreme levels escape their quality control. For a brand charging luxury supplement prices and claiming professional-grade purity, finding lead contamination at 400% to 600% above safety thresholds represents either negligent testing or willful disregard for consumer health. Many of you invested in Momentous specifically because the premium price suggested premium safety, but this testing reveals you paid more money for dangerous contamination. 6. Garden of Life Sport, organic plant-based protein. Coming in at number 6, Garden of Life built their reputation on organic certification and clean ingredients, making these test results particularly shocking. Consumer Reports found Garden of Life Sport organic plant-based protein contains lead between 400% and 600% of their level of concern per daily serving, with a recommendation to limit consumption to once weekly. The organic certification that Garden of Life prominently displays on every container means absolutely nothing for heavy metal contamination. Organic farming prevents synthetic pesticides and GMO ingredients, but it doesn't prevent plants from absorbing lead, arsenic, or cadmium that exist naturally in soil or from historical contamination. Garden of Life specifically targets health-conscious consumers willing to pay premium prices for organic ingredients, creating an expectation of superior purity that these test results completely contradict. The sport line markets to active adults and athletes who consume protein powder daily, sometimes multiple times per day, yet the lead levels make even weekly consumption questionable. For people over 45 who chose Garden of Life specifically because they believed organic meant safer, this testing reveals a fundamental misunderstanding that the supplement industry hasn't bothered to correct. Your trust in that USDA organic seal provided false confidence while lead contamination went undisclosed and unaddressed. 5. Naked Nutrition Vegan Mass Gainer. Approaching our top 5 worst offenders, Naked Nutrition claims transparent ingredients and nothing to hide. Yet Consumer Reports testing revealed contamination that completely contradicts those marketing promises. The Naked Nutrition Vegan Mass Gainer in vanilla tested at a staggering 1,572% of Consumer Reports' level of concern for lead per serving. Let that number sink in. Not 157%, not even 572%, a full 1,572% above what health researchers consider safe. The testing organization set a weekly limit of 0 servings, meaning this product is too contaminated for any regular consumption whatsoever. Naked Nutrition built their brand identity on simple, recognizable ingredients with nothing artificial added, attracting consumers who read labels carefully and prioritize clean eating. Yet while you were checking for artificial sweeteners and additives, lead contamination at levels 15 times above safety thresholds was hiding in every scoop. Mass gainers target people trying to build muscle and gain healthy weight, often young men and women in their 20s and 30s, but the effects of lead accumulation will follow them for decades. The vegan positioning attracts ethically minded consumers who care deeply about what they put in their bodies, making this betrayal of trust even more profound. For a brand named Naked that promises complete transparency, concealing lead contamination at 1,572% of safety limits represents the opposite of honesty. 4. Orgain Organic Protein Powder plus Superfoods. At number 4, Orgain faces an allergen crisis that could prove life-threatening for unsuspecting consumers. The FDA posted a company announcement that Orgain issued an allergy alert for their organic protein powder plus superfoods product due to undeclared sesame. The recall notice specifically identifies undeclared sesame as the reason, meaning this allergen appears nowhere on the product label despite being present in the formula. For people with sesame allergies, consumption can trigger reactions ranging from hives and difficulty breathing to full anaphylactic shock requiring immediate emergency treatment. Sesame became a recognized major allergen in the United States in 2023, joining peanuts, tree nuts, milk, eggs, fish, shellfish, soy, and wheat as required label disclosures. Yet Orgain, a brand specifically marketing to health-conscious consumers, including many with dietary restrictions and allergies, failed to properly label this dangerous allergen. Parents buying Orgain for children with multiple food sensitivities trusted the label to tell them everything in that container. People with known sesame allergies relied on that ingredients list to keep them safe. The organic certification and superfood marketing created an impression of extra care and attention to ingredient quality. But the undeclared allergen reveals quality control failures at the most basic level. This isn't about heavy metal contamination requiring expensive testing equipment. This is about knowing what ingredients you put in your own product and honestly listing them on the label. 3. Evolve Protein Shakes. Taking the number 3 spot, Evolve Protein Shakes issued an FDA posted allergy alert for certain protein shake 4-packs due to undeclared soy. The notice attributes this dangerous labeling failure to a supplier error, but that explanation offers no comfort to consumers who suffered allergic reactions. Soy is one of the 8 major allergens requiring mandatory disclosure on all food labels, yet it went completely unlisted on affected Evolve products. People with soy allergies experience symptoms ranging from digestive distress and skin reactions to respiratory problems and anaphylaxis. Many people avoiding soy do so because it affects their hormone balance, thyroid function, or causes inflammation. Carefully reading every label to ensure they're not consuming this ingredient. Evolve markets plant-based protein as a cleaner alternative to dairy-based shakes, attracting consumers who specifically want to avoid certain ingredients for health or ethical reasons. These are people who pay attention to labels, who trust that what's written on the package accurately reflects what's inside the bottle. The supplier error excuse reveals that Evolve doesn't adequately test incoming ingredients or verify supplier claims, instead blindly trusting that what arrives matches the paperwork. For a relatively new brand trying to establish credibility in the competitive protein shake market, an undeclared allergen recall demonstrates fundamental failures in quality assurance and supply chain management. 2. Forager Project Organic Plant Protein. Shake coming in at number 2, Forager Project faces an allergen recall that's especially troubling given their target market. The FDA posted the company's announcement of a Forager Project Organic Plant Protein shake recall due to undeclared almond allergen from almond flour. The recall notice confirms this allergen was not declared on the label for the recalled product. Almond allergy, while less common than peanut allergy, can trigger equally severe and life-threatening reactions, including anaphylaxis. Forager Project specifically markets to health-conscious consumers seeking organic, plant-based nutrition, often people managing multiple food sensitivities or following elimination diets for autoimmune conditions. These consumers depend absolutely on accurate labeling because their health and sometimes their lives require avoiding specific ingredients. The organic certification and premium pricing created expectations of superior attention to ingredient sourcing and labeling accuracy. Parents buying Forager Project for children with tree nut allergies trusted that label completely, never imagining that almond flour could be present, but undisclosed. The plant-based positioning attracts people who already carefully scrutinize ingredients and make deliberate choices about what they consume, making this labeling failure a fundamental betrayal of the trust that defines the Forager Project customer relationship. For a brand built entirely on transparency about plant-based ingredients, concealing almond flour in the actual product while omitting it from the label represents the exact opposite of their stated values. 1. Premier Protein. Taking the number 1 spot as the absolute worst protein shake you can buy, Premier Protein combines recall expansion with contamination so dangerous it could kill you. The company expanded a voluntary recall of certain Premier Protein 11-ounce ready-to-drink shakes, specifically cartons with BT in the lot code, based on updated guidance from their co-manufacturer. That expanded recall referenced potential microbial contamination from Clostridium botulinum, the bacteria that causes botulism. Although the company notice states that no contamination was actually found in products, the fact that they recalled based on potential exposure tells you everything about how serious this threat is. Clostridium botulinum produces a toxin so deadly that just a tiny amount can cause paralysis, respiratory failure, and death. Botulism isn't a stomachache or food poisoning you recover from in a few days. It's a medical emergency requiring hospitalization, often in intensive care with mechanical ventilation. The bacteria thrives in low-acid, low-oxygen environments exactly like sealed protein shake containers. For millions of Americans, Premier Protein is a daily habit. People drink these shakes for breakfast, after workouts, as meal replacements throughout their busy days. Many keep cases in their pantry, car, or office, consuming them without a second thought about safety. The recall expansion means that Premier Protein and their co-manufacturer initially didn't grasp the full scope of potential contamination, only broadening the recall after receiving updated information. That reactive rather than proactive approach to consumer safety is deeply troubling for a product consumed by vulnerable populations, including elderly people using Premier Protein as nutritional supplementation and people recovering from surgery or illness who may have compromised immune systems. The ready-to-drink format attracts busy professionals who trust they can grab and consume these shakes safely, never imagining they might be risking exposure to one of the deadliest foodborne toxins known to science. After exposing the contaminated and mislabeled nightmares, here's the relief you've been waiting for. These 4 brands prove protein shakes can be made right, with real quality control, genuine testing, and 0 compromises on safety. 4. Transparent Labs Mass Gainer. Starting our safe list at number 4, Transparent Labs lives up to their name by providing searchable third-party testing for every product batch. Their Mass Gainer in Sweet Vanilla appeared under Consumer Reports' Better Choices for Daily Consumption category, testing at just 87% of their level of concern for lead per serving. That's the lowest contamination level among mass gainers tested, with Consumer Reports actually approving 1 serving per day consumption. Transparent Labs provides certificates of analysis and other verification tests, including ingredient purity and gluten testing, all searchable by batch number on their website. This level of transparency allows you to verify the exact product sitting on your shelf, not just trust generic claims about quality. For a mass gainer targeting people who consume multiple servings daily to increase caloric intake, having lead levels below the safety threshold means you can actually use this product as intended without accumulating dangerous heavy metal exposure. The company's commitment to third-party testing demonstrates they're confident enough in their sourcing and manufacturing to invite independent verification. Mass gainers typically show higher contamination because they contain such large amounts of plant proteins and other ingredients, making Transparent Labs' achievement of staying below safety limits even more impressive. While other brands hide behind vague quality claims, Transparent Labs puts actual test results in your hands, empowering you to make informed decisions about what you're putting in your body. 3. Ascent. At number 3, Ascent appears in Informed Sports Supplement database, demonstrating a commitment to testing that goes beyond basic safety to ensure competitive athletes can use their products without risking banned substance violations. Informed Sports certification means every batch undergoes testing for a broad range of substances banned in sport using highly sensitive analytical techniques. This level of scrutiny catches not just obvious contamination, but even trace amounts of compounds that might appear through cross-contamination during manufacturing. For everyday consumers, this testing provides assurance that extends far beyond athletic compliance. If a product is clean enough for Olympic athletes who face career-ending consequences for even accidental contamination, it's certainly clean enough for your daily nutrition needs. Ascent's multiple products appearing in the Informed Sport database shows this isn't a one-time certification, but an ongoing commitment to batch-by-batch verification. The testing required for Informed Sport certification is expensive and time-consuming, representing a significant investment in quality control that many brands simply won't make. For consumers over 45 concerned about accumulating toxin exposure as you age, choosing a brand that voluntarily submits to this rigorous testing provides peace of mind that basic FDA compliance doesn't offer. While contaminated brands make excuses about supplier errors and industry-wide challenges, Ascent proves that proper testing and quality control can deliver consistently clean products. 2. Clean Athlete, Clean Isolate. Coming in at number 2, Clean Athlete's Clean Isolate earns NSF Certified for Sport status, one of the most respected third-party certifications in the supplement industry. The NSF Sport certification listing shows this product tested for country of sale in the United States with verified protein product classification. NSF International is an independent, accredited organization that's been testing products for safety and quality since 1944, bringing decades of expertise to their supplement certification program. The NSF listing includes free of claims entries specifically noting that Clean Isolate is free of artificial flavors and artificial preservatives. Verification that goes beyond just testing for contaminants to confirm what's not in the product. For health-conscious consumers deliberately avoiding artificial ingredients, this third-party confirmation provides assurance that label claims are actually true. Protein isolates undergo additional processing to increase protein concentration and reduce fats and carbohydrates, creating more opportunities for contamination if quality control isn't rigorous. Clean Athlete's achievement of NSF certification for an isolate product demonstrates their manufacturing process maintains purity even through these additional refinement steps. The NSF Sport certification specifically targets athletes but benefits all consumers by ensuring products don't contain banned substances, undisclosed stimulants, or contamination that could affect drug testing. While other brands slap tested claims on their labels without independent verification, Clean Athlete submits to actual third-party oversight from an organization with nothing to gain by overlooking problems. 1. Thorne Whey Protein Isolate. Taking the top spot as the absolute best protein shake you can buy, Thorne Whey Protein Isolate represents the gold standard for quality, safety, and transparency. The NSF Certified for Sport product listing shows Thorne Whey Protein Isolate in vanilla flavor with complete product details, including serving size and protein content at 21 grams per serving. Thorne has built a reputation over 3 decades as the supplement brand that healthcare practitioners actually recommend, trusted by integrative medicine doctors, functional medicine specialists, and nutritionists who stake their professional credibility on the products they suggest. NSF Certified for Sport status means every batch undergoes rigorous testing for banned substances, heavy metals, and contamination, with results that must meet strict purity standards before products can carry the certification. The whey protein isolate format provides the highest quality protein source with minimal lactose, fat, and carbohydrates. Ideal for people with sensitive digestion or those carefully managing their macronutrient intake. Unlike plant proteins that accumulate heavy metals from soil, whey comes from milk, generally showing much lower contamination levels when properly sourced. Thorne's vanilla flavoring comes without the artificial sweeteners, colors, and additives that plague most flavored protein powders, providing taste without chemical exposure. The country of sale verification for the United States confirms you're getting products manufactured under U.S. quality standards and oversight, not imported from facilities with unknown safety records. Healthcare practitioners choose Thorne specifically because they've seen the third-party testing, verified the ingredient sourcing, and trusted their own patients' health to these products. For consumers over 45 who understand that what you put in your body daily either builds health or undermines it, Thorne represents an investment in verified quality over cheap contamination. While Premier Protein risks botulism and Naked Nutrition delivers 1,572% above safe lead levels, Thorne proves that protein supplementation can be exactly what it should be: Pure nutrition supporting your health goals instead of quietly poisoning you with every shake. 10 protein shake brands contaminated with heavy metals and undeclared allergens that could threaten your health, plus 4 that actually deserve your trust and your money. Before your next supplement purchase, remember this. Demand third-party testing, check for NSF or Informed Sport certification, and never assume that organic or premium pricing guarantees safety. If this video changed how you think about protein shakes, hit that like button, drop a comment telling me which brand you want investigated next, and share this with everyone who deserves to know what they're really drinking. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss content protecting your health and exposing the truth the supplement industry doesn't want you to know. Thanks for watching. Until next time.